would argue we need to understand and embrace these rhythms. In this book, I have attempted to unpack the science of body clocks and sleep, making some of the amazing and exciting discoveries accessible and hopefully in a format that is fun and easy to read. I have been able to draw from my own personal experiences over the past 40 years as a scientist in this field, and have benefited immensely from discussions with friends and colleagues, many of whom have contributed directly to our current understanding of biological time. I provide the evidence behind our current knowledge of the science, and how this evidence can be used by each of us to make more informed decisions about improving our lives, from getting better sleep to organizing our daily activities, and even why we may benefit from taking medications or being vaccinated at a particular time of day. The information in this book will also give you a greater understanding of the behavior of others, including why teenagers and the elderly may struggle to get restorative sleep, and why your mood and decision-making skills may change from morning to afternoon, and even why the risk of divorce is higher in those doing night shift work. I have emphasized throughout this book that we are all very different, and that while it is possible to make generalizations, taking an average value can be misleading. So, for example, although the average length of the menstrual cycle in women is 28 days, only 15% of women actually have a 28-day cycle. Your body clock and sleep biology can be likened to your shoe size. One size does not fit all, and making us all wear the same shoe size is not only foolish but potentially harmful. The failure to recognize this variation is why some general advice in the media can be either overly simplistic or deeply unhelpful. Sleep and daily rhythms emerge from our genetics, physiology, behavior, and the environment. And like most of our behaviors, they are not fixed. These rhythms are modified by our actions, how we interact with the environment, and how we progress from birth to old age. From infancy to advanced adulthood, our body clock and our sleep patterns change profoundly. But these age-related changes are not necessarily bad. We should stop worrying about our sleep and accept that different is not necessarily worse. Some of the advice you are given can be just wrong, emerging from the murky world of received wisdom. Such wisdom can be ancient and extend back to the beginnings of recorded history. However, as we shall see in the following chapters, the repetition of an idea does not necessarily guarantee legitimacy. For example, flipping babies helps sort out their sleep. According to this old tale, flipping the baby forward, head over heels, will reset the child's internal clock so that the baby will sleep at night and be awake during the day. There is absolutely no evidence for this. Instead, as a tale, it may well have its origins in parental desperation. Chronic sleep deprivation, not least in parents, can badly affect judgment and our ability to act rationally. Another often repeated myth is that the pineal gland hormone melatonin is a sleep hormone. It is not, and in the following chapters I shall explain why. My message throughout this book is that all of us, as individuals and as members of society, should make some effort to understand and act upon the new scientific knowledge of biological time. But why bother? For me, it makes sense in a complex and demanding world to achieve the best physical and mental health we can. Such knowledge will help us deal with the many and varied insults that life flings at us. However, there is more. If you want to embrace life, be creative, make sensible decisions, enjoy the company of others, and view the world and all that it has to offer with a positive outlook, then embracing biological time will help you do this. Why not make the most of the time we have, and maybe even extend that time? The tick-tock of the biological clock. The entrenched arrogance which goes with being human means that most of us assume that we are above the grubby world of biology and that we can do what we want at whatever time we choose. This assumption underpins the modern 24/7 society and an economy that is dependent upon night shift workers to stock our supermarkets, clean our offices, run our global financial services, protect us from crime, repair our rail and road infrastructure, and, of course, care for the sick and injured when they are at their most vulnerable. All of this happens while most of us are asleep, or at least trying to sleep. Although night shift work is the most obvious disruptor of our body clock and sleep,